I love how on this channel I go from reviewing a film like The Batman to reviewing a film like this. The Phantom of the Open. Now, The Phantom of the Open is directed by Craig Robertson, stars Mark Rylance, Hawkins, and Rhys Ifans. And basically, the film follows the true story of Maurice, played by Mark Rylance in the film. He basically finally gets a chance to pursue his dream of becoming a professional golfer and playing at the British Open. However, he had little experience of actually playing on golf courses, and he's only an amateur golfer. But he manages to lie on his application to get into the British Open because he says he's a professional golfer, and then basically he does actually play at the British Open, and he scores a really bad score. But nevertheless, throughout the film, you watch Maurice Flitcroft kind of become famous for being this terrible golfer. And that's basically my interpretation of the plot for The Phantom of the Open. And honestly, I just found this film wonderful. I just really enjoyed it, and I didn't expect to whatsoever. I mean, I thought I might enjoy it because it's one of those British comedies, you know, that come along every once in a while. And there's actually another one out called The Duke right now, which I might go and watch next week. But yeah, I thought I'd enjoy it, but not quite as much as I did. Honestly, I found this film joyful, charming, and just so wonderful to watch. And the thing is though, I almost didn't watch it yesterday because I'm recording this video on Saturday now, and I went to watch the film yesterday on Friday, and basically I had this very long week and I was very tired, and honestly I almost fell asleep on the bus ride to the cinema to watch this movie. That's not a joke. I almost fell asleep on the bus ride to watch the film, and so I was hoping the film was going to be at least fun, so it'd keep me awake. And then I saw it yesterday, and honestly, it's an absolute joy. It's so wonderful, and it's so much fun to watch, and I just had a huge grin on my face with so much of the movie. Honestly, like, it's fantastic. The fact that it's a true story as well makes it so much better. There's this whole subplot in the film where basically Maurice Flitcroft's sons, you know, the main character's sons, are both twins, and they're both disco dancing twins. Honestly, they go around to all these disco dancing competitions and they win for the movie, and it's great, and it really makes the film that more fun to watch. Like, you have Mark Rylance and Maurice Flitcroft, which is just such a joy to watch, and so good in the film, by the way. Mark Rylance is excellent in the film, and then you also have the heart of the film beside Hawkins, but then you also have like the fun elements in the background with the disco dancing brothers, and it works so well. And just things like that, which are actually true, by the way, that actually happen in real life, just make you love the film even more. And it's just delightful to watch. I mean, I know I said it before and I'll say it again, it really is. Honestly, I never felt bored on this movie, and I never felt like anything was really annoying me as well. Even some of the films I've seen in the past, which I love, I'll get to know some of those movies and like, that doesn't work the best, but this movie never really annoyed me or never really got on my bad side. I was just watching it and I really enjoyed it. I can't emphasize enough how much I enjoyed watching this movie and how much just fun it was as well. Because even so, the film does have its problems. It does have some nitpicky problems. And if I sat through, you know, the whole of the film and broke down every single scene, I could go, okay, that doesn't work, how does that link up to that? But the thing is though, when you're watching the movie, you don't care so much, because the film is fueled by the like 70s pop soundtrack, which I just absolutely adored. Honestly, I must admit, I have a bit of a soft spot for when a film uses, you know, like famous songs from a famous period, like when it uses songs from like the 70s, the 80s, and 90s. I have a bit of a soft spot for when films do that in their soundtracks, and this film did that. Honestly, I just love the fact that this film has some great pop songs in there, which I've been listening to, like, you're more than a number, I'm a little rainbow, you're more than a number to me. That's a great song, by the way, which I only really discovered in this movie. At the same time, though, Build Me Up Buttercup, which is a wonderful song, which is used so fantastically when you see Maurice Flitcroft, you know, training to play golf for the British Open on these beaches and these places which aren't golf courses. It's things like that which just make it great. It really is. It's that sort of Eddie the Eagle story, you know, with the Eddie Eagle, the film directed by Dexter Fletcher, which I think came out in 2016, which starred, you know, Tyne Edgerton and Hugh Jackman. Great film, by the way. But it's that similar sort of feel when Eddie the Eagle, you know, Eddie the Eagle himself, played by Tyne Edgerton in that movie, he goes to the Winter Olympics, I think, to do ski jumping, but he doesn't really have any experience. But the thing is, though, he becomes famous because people just like him. You know, he's not that good of a ski jumper, but people just like him in that film. They just like his kite. And again, you know, Eddie the Eagle is based on a true story, much like The Phantom of the Open. It's based on a true story, and you watch Maurice Flitcroft in the film, you know, like I said, excellently played by Mark Rylance. I'll get on to performances a bit later. but you watch Maurice Philcroft in the film, played by Mark Rylance, and he's just this terrible golfer, but everyone loves him, and you kind of fall in love with that character as well whilst you're watching the movie. And you know, the thing is, much like Le Mans 66, aka Ford versus Ferrari, and by the way, Le Mans 66 and The Phantom of the Open are two very different movies. Both great, by the way. I love Le Mans 66 and I love this movie as well. But the thing is, though, two very different movies, which I didn't think I'd compare Le Mans 66 to The Phantom of the Open in the review, but nevertheless, I'm doing it now and I'm doing it anyway. But yeah, much like Le Mans 66, I don't care about golf. I really don't care about golf. And in Le Mans 66, I didn't care about, you know, motor racing. I don't really care about cars whatsoever. But in Le Mans 66, you become involved in the races. You want Christian Bale's character to win. You want Matt Damon's character to win as well. And that's the same thing that happens here. I don't care about golf. I really don't. I mean, I've played it a couple of times in the past, but only as a bit of fun. But the thing is, though, when you're watching Maurice Philcroft, played by Mark Rylance's movie, and you're watching Sally Hawkins, his wife, as well, you're watching all the characters, you're rooting for them. And I love films that make you do that when you're not interested in the subject matter, like Kid of the Eagle as well. But the film makes you interested in the subject matter because it's so much fun to watch, and just the way the actors play their parts. Honestly, the performances in this movie are absolutely fantastic. Like I said, you know, Mark Rylance is so good in this movie. You know, Mark Rylance, who has a knack for fantastically underplaying characters, also giving those characters he plays so much emotion and so much life. Like in Bridge of Spies, you know, he actually won a Best Supporting Actor Oscar for that movie, for his performance in that movie, and he plays a, Soviet spy, but quite underplayed in that movie. It's really good. But then he does a similar performance in, you know, Spielberg's BFG in 2016, and he also did a similar performance lately in Don't Look Up, which I didn't mind, by the way. But also he shows up his range in films like The Trial of Chicago 7, which came out, you know, in 2020, and that is fantastic movie, and his performance in the movie is great. Honestly, it really is. But in this movie, he's kind of doing all of that. You know, he's massively underplaying the performance, like he does in the BFG, like he does in Bridge of Spies as well. But he's also done some range there, so some emotion, like he did in The Trial of Chicago 7, like in his performance in The Trial of Chicago 7. And I really like that about this movie. The fact that you really buy into that character, and the fact also that you never believe you're watching Mark Rylance. And that's the same as Sally Hawkins in the movie. Honestly, Sally Hawkins is the heart of the movie. She plays Maurice Philcroft's wife, and she is so good in the movie. And never 1 minute in the movie, never 1 second in the movie, you never ever feel like you're watching the actors, you feel like you're watching the characters they're playing, and that's a big praise, because I'm a fan of Mark Rylance. Ever since I saw him in Bridge of Spies, I've become a huge fan of him, and I really liked him in the BFG, by the way. That was a film which wasn't loved by everyone, but I really enjoyed it, because it had that Spielberg touch with that movie, but that's neither here or there. But the thing is, though, yeah, I really like Mark Rylance as an actor, and that's kind of why I want to watch this movie. And honestly, I never felt like I was watching Mark Rylance at all. I just felt like I was watching Maurice Philcroft, this golfer that actually existed, by the way. And I can't believe that, honestly, watching the movie, going, wow, I can't believe he actually existed. You know, it actually says, you know, based on the shoots at the beginning, and you can't believe he existed. But yes, nevertheless, you watch Mark Rylance play this golfer in the movie, and it's just great. You just go along with it, and you smile the entire way. And that's the same as Sally Hawkins' character, who has so much heart into the movie, and he just plays that character so well. Honestly, she is great in the movie. I do have some small problems I've got to admit, and these are only small problems, these didn't hugely bother me. The Rhys Ifans storyline wasn't the best. I don't think it really held up alongside the Mark Rylance storyline, alongside, you know, Maurice Philcroft storyline. It was just one of those typical storylines of, you know, the authoritative person, the person who's in charge of the British Open, trying to stop Mark Rylance's character before he gets too far, because he's a working class man. That's what it's like in the movie, and you get that so many times in films like this, that person who's trying to stop the protagonist, but is a bit comical of himself, and it's not a bad storyline in this movie, but it just wasn't the best. Every time Rhys Ifans was on screen, he was fun to watch, but I didn't love that storyline. And also, it does get a bit soppy in some parts, like so many of these movies do. Bear in mind, in the end, it's a British comedy. And, you know, like so many Richard Curtis comedies, like, you know, Love Actually, Notting Hill, or About Time, or so many other British comedies in general. But yeah, loads of British comedies get soppy towards the end, and this movie does as well. And it's not a huge criticism that, because I kind of expected that to happen, and actually it did really pay off with the heart of the movie, but nevertheless, In the third act of the film, it did get a bit soppy and a bit heartfelt and a bit like, here we go again, it's another British comedy, we're doing this again. That's what it kind of felt like. And there is a subplot with a son in the movie, which one of the sons of the movie, because basically Maurice Flitcroft has 3 sons, although one of his sons isn't actually his son, but it kind of is his son because he raised him since he was a child. And there's this whole plot line with a son who's working in a high-end job now, and he feels like his father's embarrassing him. And it's a good storyline, but again, it just felt in some moments like the film was trying to make you feel sympathy because of that storyline, and sometimes it didn't always work for me, I've got to admit. But saying that though, it did work for me for quite a lot of the time, and actually, the heart of this movie really worked for me, and you really go along with it, and especially in the third act of the movie, where you find out that Maurice Flitcroft, not to give too much away here, but you kind of find that he's got like a cult stardom in America. It's so wonderful. That's such a bit of spoiler there. Apologies, I've given away a bit of a spoiler, but yes, nevertheless, it's not a Marvel or DC movie. It's not a big blockbuster. It's the fans from the open. The chance I probably never heard of this movie until I am reviewing it today, or maybe you heard of it online. Maybe you saw the film advertised on a bus. Maybe you saw that if you're in the UK. But yeah, it's not a big movie, and I did give some of it away there. But, you know, it's that sort of joy when you find out that Maurice Flitcroft has become like a cult star in America in the third act of the movie. And you just want to smile, you want to leap a joy and want to just go along with him on that journey. It's just actually fantastic, the third act of the movie, because it really makes you emotional in that certain way that so many British comedies do, in the best way possible. You know, the best British comedies make you feel emotion, make you want to smile, make you want to leap with joy. And this movie does that as well. Honestly, it's great. It really is. It's so much fun to watch, and it really was a nice, pleasant surprise, because I thought I'd enjoy it, because I like a lot of British comedies. I do. I like a lot of British comedies, and I've enjoyed a lot of British comedies in the past, you know, mostly from Richard Curtis, you got to admit, but nevertheless, there has been some other British comedies, like the Cornetto trilogy as well, which are also British comedies, which I really, really love. But the thing is, though, I thought I'd enjoy it, but not as much as I did. Honestly, it's great. It's so much fun to watch, and I can't recommend it enough if you just want a film to sit down with and have a lot of fun with. Yes, by no means is it a masterpiece, but it doesn't want to be. You know, I never felt when I was watching the film like it wanted to be a masterpiece, but actually, it's really well shot. It's got some great direction in there from Craig Roberts, and also the performance is fantastic. The soundtrack's great as well, and it is just an absolute pure delight of a movie. Honestly, I found this movie wonderful, and actually, I absolutely loved it. I really did, and I didn't expect to whatsoever. And so, all in all, I'm going to say that The Phantom of the Open, I'm going to say it's an 8.5 out of 10. You know, this movie isn't for everyone, and that's fine. You know, no movie is, but I can't get over how much I really enjoyed it. I really can't, because I didn't expect to. I barely heard anything about this movie, and actually, like many other people, I suppose, in the UK, I saw this movie advertised on buses. So that's kind of why I went to go watch it. And actually, it is just great. It's really fun to watch, and I absolutely adored it. I really did, and I really didn't expect it whatsoever. And also, the name of the movie, The Phantom of the Open, I thought it was a bit of a comical name. I thought it was meant to be making fun of it, you know, the whole thing, The Phantom of the Open, The Phantom of the Opera. I thought it was meant to be a bit of a comical name, and sometimes I don't like films with comical names. You know, this film's called The Phantom of the Open, and I thought it was a bit of a, you know, parody towards The Phantom of the Opera. But actually, you do realise later on in the film why it's called The Phantom of the Open, and I really like that. I really like the way we found out that. It isn't just a parody name or anything like that, which sometimes I'm not the biggest fan of. There is actually a solid reason that this movie's called The Phantom of the Open, and actually it makes a lot of sense when you get to the end of the movie. But honestly, it is just great. I could go on and on about how wonderful it was, but it gives you that feeling that so many British comedies do. When you get to the end and you just have that grin on your face that you just can't wipe away. That's what I felt like when I was leaving the cinema yesterday, and I'm so happy that I did, because I didn't think I'd like this movie as much as I did, but, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I adored it. I really, really did. I watched it, and I had a huge grin on my face with so much of it, and it's emotional when it needs to be. It's even a bit moving in there, and Mark Rylance is there for this movie, so is Hawkins, and I loved the whole subplot line with the disco dancing brothers as well, which really caught me off guard as well with how much that actually worked in the movie for me, and yeah, I thought this movie was absolutely delightful. It was so wonderful to watch, and I just absolutely loved it. And so, all in all, I'm going to say that The Phantom of the Open, I'm going to say that it's an 8.5 out of 10 from me. Anyway guys, what do you think of The Phantom of the Open? Please do comment down below and know your thoughts in the comment section below. Anyway guys, thank you as always for watching, and if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like subscribe on this video, and look forward to many more both film and TVs come very soon on this channel. See you guys again soon, goodbye for now, bye!